30 pounds in 6 weeks. Wow. A lot of times during that 6 weeks, the average weight loss is healthy and sustainable. It's 1 to 2 pounds a week. So most people are going to lose 8 to 12 pounds during this challenge. What's even cooler is we're seeing people hold that.
Welcome to Fondy Famous. I am Kelly Norfleet. Today we're here with Steven of TNT Fitness. And we get to learn a little bit about what made him bring this incredible gym to Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Are you ready to get started?
No, for sure. So thank you for having me, obviously. And what's great about it is that TNT was started before I was even involved with it. It's been around since 2008. Our head coach, Chad Coleman, has been with us since that point in time. And so my start in it, I was honestly coming on the backside of a career in the Marine Corps. I was a reservist, and I needed a place to train. And at that point in time, it was like, cool, now what? Like, don't have a dad bod? Like, that wasn't super inspiring. And I wanted to start getting into this industry. I was already studying it. I was working third shift at Mercury. So I actually had just been a client, learned a ton about the way the training and everything we did out here was. Fell in love with it. That was around 2012. Coached down in the south end of the state for a couple of years, and then was in West Bend for a year before the gentleman at the time decided he was ready to sell it. Had some other business ventures going on. So 2015, I bought it from him. And ever since then, we've just been really working on getting it better and better and better, and really keeping that coaching first principle inside all of it.
You've kind of mentioned before when we were chatting, your gym is a little bit different. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so there's different types of gyms, right? And so the traditional athletic club model, Planet Fitness, the big box gyms are really built around this idea of hey, high volume, low price, which albeit is not the way I really feel is the right way of doing things. And I started in that side of the industry. One of the most genuine mentors I've had in my life comes from that original tennis club that I worked at, and he's retired now. Great gentleman, but I felt like it was out of integrity. And so that's where I really love this micro gym model is what technically we're referred to as, where it's, hey, you have a few hundred members, but at a higher price point, not one-on-one personal training price point, but because of that, we know everyone by their first name when they walk in the door. They're attending. Our utilization rate is the exact opposite of the athletic club model. The athletic club model, big box gym model, is to have a 5 to 8% utilization rate on a weekly to monthly basis. Ours is a total inverse. There's only 5 to 7% of our clients on a weekly basis that don't show up.
Right.
And that's really where we wanted to flip this thing on its head.
Okay, so their goal is almost, they don't want you to show up. They want you to pay and not come, whereas you want them to show up and get what they're looking for out of it.
You're here to get results.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. What do your members see when they work with you?
Yeah, so for different populations that we work with, and that's what's super special about TNT is all of our staff are all certified strength and conditioning specialists. So they all have their degrees in exercise science and certifications that could put them working in a university or a professional setting, professional team setting. Okay. And so Chad worked at NC State. The gentleman who's in charge of our athlete program, he did his internship with the Broncos head strength and conditioning coach at their private facility.
Pretty
right?
Cool.
Yeah, super awesome. So we work with sports performance, and that's the youngest groups we'll work with. Fourth grade, starting at about this time of year, second semester, all the way through college. And we've got, college Division I athletes on full rides and all that other stuff. It's super awesome. And that's always performance-based training, right? Yep. Whereas on the adult side of things, it's really that point where it's hey, we want to look and feel like an athlete still, without sacrificing everything else in life. We want to feel fulfilled without being so sore we can't sit down on the toilet.
But I saw your post about that. It made me laugh.
Yeah, it's real though. Yeah.
It is true. Yep.
Yep. So that's what's super great. It's generally we're seeing folks that are kind of coming into a little bit of that more steady point in their life where they're married, they're having kids, and now they're I need a simpler solution. I only have maybe 2 or 3 times a week that I can attend. How can I get results in that type of period of time? And what's great is as we build a lifestyle around health and fitness, we see people that are in their mid-70s continue to train with us that have been with us since 2008 because we're building it in that way that it's meant to be just part of our life, not this thing we do when we're oop, I feel a little fluffy today. Yeah.
Ate a little bit too much pizza last night.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yep.
Right. So you're looking for like a long-term solution, something that people can ongoing do, they can add it into their lives, see impact, and enjoy doing.
Exactly. And feel good that you know you're performing at your best without like sacrificing these other pieces of like, oh my gosh, my shoulders, my back are just terrible right now, right? Yep. Exercise, we kind of have like 3 gentle rules we talk about in the gym where it's like training should be safe because you should never get injured in a gym, but then it should be fun because if you're not enjoying it, you're not going to stick around long enough to get the third thing, which is results. And so those are like, as coaches, our responsibility of like, yeah, we're building this foundation, but it's safe, fun, and then get results for folks.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you tell me, I always like to think of things, especially in 2026, as people have anxiety and they have no idea, no clue where to start. They feel overwhelmed in like picking a gym. There's a lot of gyms to pick through. What would you suggest when they're looking to figure out which gym is the best fit for them?
Yeah, it's really great, right? So if you've been doing nothing, anything's going to work. Again, I joke with like back in the day, you could do 100 burpees and throw up from a workout, and it's like, oh, I'm getting more fit. And that is true to a degree, right? But at the same time, obviously, I'm biased, right? Like, I believe that it's important for everyone to have a coach, whether it's we have a coach from our career side of things or our physical side of things. I think that's important. So for folks first getting started, if you're comfortable enough and in a place where you're like, I can get this thing going and you get the momentum built, heck yeah, like that's awesome. And whether it's like doing a little running on your own, a little exercise on your own, maybe trying some of the big box stuff at first to get the momentum built. Oftentimes what we see members coming in after they've done a little bit at first, and then they hit that first big wall where like, yeah, I lost 20 pounds, but I still got another 15 to go and I just can't seem to figure it out. And everything I try is just not working for me. And that's honestly like a big reason we've developed like the practices we have in our 6-week challenges and stuff like that, is because it is that piece of, okay, well, how do we get you to that next level? And then just incrementally improve that high water mark.
Okay. And now you just kind of touched on your 6-week challenge. What is that?
Yeah, so I think we all can remember back in the day, again, like the early 2010s, the Biggest Loser fad. And especially like, obviously, we talk about marketing and stuff too. Back then, well, again, bunch of dumb strength coaches that count to 5 all day long, right? So we didn't know the first thing about marketing. The only thing we were ever taught was teach people or tell people how much weight they can lose and how fast they can lose it. And that was all we ever learned with this
Every
stuff.
Ozempic commercial currently.
Right, exactly. It's like, oh, you can lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. And if you can help somebody lose 10 pounds in 10 days, you better tell them that instead of 14 because you're a better trainer then. But it's not sustainable. It doesn't create a lifestyle around it. And we saw it. We saw people train with us for 6 months and then fall off the wagon and go right back to where they were within the next 3 to 4 months again, because it just didn't have that process. So what was great is around like that 2019, 2020 time frame, we kind of took a step back from, we're going to be done running challenges in that style because it just felt out of integrity for us. Right. Instead, we took a step back and go, okay, well, what are the principles that every single person should do on a daily basis? Because again, our scope of practice is training. Like, it's a degree nutrition because that's a pillar of wellness, but we want to just improve our life through some basic things we all know we should do. I mean, it's the stuff we already know, right? Drink more water, eat more vegetables, don't eat like an unsupervised kindergartner at a birthday party, right? And so we started with a foundation of that, where it's like, all right, add these things in, and then, subtract the obvious stuff, right? Alcohol and soda, deep fried food, added sugars, and then like highly processed carbohydrates, and reducing the amounts of that. That's the framework of every fad diet that's ever existed. Yep. But then after that, it's just, how do we apply the strategies to it to help you be more successful? Because your life and my life are 2 different things. Like, I super early mornings, super late at night. Like, that's the life of a coach, right? Normal people work a 9 to 5. So how do we help apply these things to that? And that's like what we've built in with these 6-week challenges.
Okay. What are some results that you've seen in the past with these?
Yeah, so the biggest thing I always emphasize is like getting sustainability with it. So a lot of times during that 6 weeks, the average weight loss is healthy and sustainable. It's 1 to 2 pounds a week. So most people are going to lose 8 to 12 pounds during this challenge, or 1.5% to 2% body fat, which sounds very modest compared to like the old days of like 30 pounds in 6 weeks. Wow. Right. But what's even cooler is we're seeing people hold that. we obviously track it. We're making sure that, okay, we had 60 people participate on this last one. Where are they at now, 3 weeks later, 6 weeks later? And so even just this week, I had 2 people come up after we got this thing going and started again. They're not participating in the challenge because they did it last time. But, with the start of the year and post-holidays, they're like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that even though I'm not doing this, I got back on those same habits. I'm already, one of them, she's one of the most fit women I know that's in her 60s at this point now, does multiple pull-ups, can back squat more than her 1.5 times her own body weight. And she's like, I'm down 5 pounds already. Another gentleman who, again, more mature in his age, if you will, came back and he's like, yeah, I've held on to the changes I made and I got my blood work back. And not only is it improved in all of its metrics, but they cut my blood pressure medication in half.
Okay, that's a big win.
Yeah, so it's that kind of thing. And then seeing, especially folks like ourselves that are in their 30s that are like, hey, I feel good where I'm going out and playing with the kids and being active with them and still finding a way to get into the gym 3 times a week and take care of themselves and fill their own cup first. That's what we really love seeing is how does this impact your life outside of the gym? Because that's what it's all about.
Right. Yeah. Good stress reducer for parents and everyone in between too.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's hard to pour from an empty cup. So if we're not trying to give ourselves that opportunity first, it's hard to give it to other people. Yeah.
Right. What do you think your favorite thing is? You clearly enjoy what you do. You can tell.
Yeah.
But what do you think your favorite thing is in helping people with this journey?
That's interesting. I've definitely sat in every single seat when it comes to the fitness industry at this point now and done every different little thing with it. Currently, the thing that gets me most excited is getting new folks started. And that's a lot of what my role is right now. It's just helping people get comfortable at first, helping them get a little bit of a game plan in the very initial stages, and then getting through that first 2 weeks of momentum building. Because what's really, really awesome is the team of guys that we have right now, they are so good at the follow through of it, of making sure that, hey, again, we chatted earlier, Betty, I haven't seen you in the last couple of weeks. Everything all right? I know the roads have been kind of terrible out. And that's what's fun about it, is getting to watch them work and do the follow through, but also my job of getting that momentum started. So, yeah.
And the help of accountability, I'm sure.
Hey, my name's Steve from Steve Works Builders. We are a local contractor that focus on pretty much anything that residential construction offers. We started small and now we do it all. If you are looking to build a home or a remodel, please give us a call. That number is 920-923-6063. And you can talk to Missy. You'll be probably the one that answers, and she's actually the one you want to talk to. She will set up a meeting so we can go through that project with you. And even if you're not sure if you want to start it now or later, that is a great place to start, and we're happy to walk you through the process. Now let's get back to the podcast.
People who work in the exercise industry typically love working out, right?
Yeah.
People who don't work out don't necessarily love it. How do you bridge that gap?
Yeah. This fun, right? I'll never forget one of my early on clients when I was in my young 20s. Gal's name was Brenda. And Brenda, if you hear this, but I will never forget, because her son was in the Marines as well too. We got along great. But she'd always look at me like, Steven, I can't wait till you have kids. I can't wait till you have kids, right? She would say that over and over to me. I was like, yeah, Brenda. Anyhow, I moved up here. She was from my West Bend gym at the time. And she came and trained with us. And I finally had kids at that point. She's like, oh, so you get it now, don't you? And I think that's what's really cool, because you're totally right? Mm-hmm. Folks in the fitness industry, they love working out. They've made it part of their lives. Oftentimes, we joke with our interns, you're either a nerd or an athlete coming into it because you either love the science of exercise science, or you love, and you were just in sports your whole life. And so that's what brought you into it. So while for us as coaches, we've made it part of our lifestyle, just a lot of us made drinking enough water on a daily basis part of our lifestyle. However, for folks that are brand new to it, you're 100% right. I don't expect this to be your life. I don't expect you to be the person that, puts the cult in culture when it comes to fitness. So instead, we look at it as minimal effective dose, which was really popular during the late 2000s and kind of that 4-hour body time frame with Tim Ferriss of, hey, reality is 2 to 3 sessions a week is enough to create healthy, sustainable weight loss, to help create new adaptations in our strength. And so can we do that? our approach to nutrition is the same way too. Like, hey, can I add in some basic stuff of, again, drink more water, eat more vegetables, and is that enough to get your weight moving in the right direction and help you be healthier? And so that's where we start so many folks at, is those really simple basic stuff that we should all just do on a daily basis. And then what's fun too with how we train is like, you want to come back. Because at first, like, you're gaining a connection with your coach and they're invested in you and you can feel that energy. But then likewise too, you start to get to know, 2 or 3 other people in that session, and they say to you like, hey, Kelly, when are you next time? I'll be here Thursday. And you're like, oh, crap, I got to be there Thursday.
That's exactly what I'd be thinking.
You actually enjoy being there Thursday because then you're like, oh, I got to meet Emma, and meet Corey. And I really enjoy working out with them. And it becomes this like social moment too, not just like, and then there's shared suffering, which is a whole nother thing, but we won't get into the psychology of things. So
bonding, trauma bonding.
Something like that.
Better term, I'm sure, that you can find, but okay. So you guys create a community around what you're doing as well.
Exactly. And I would tell you most gyms, especially micro gyms, do that, right?
Yep.
I'm very, very fortunate that like I get to go around the country a couple times a year, meet with a bunch of other gym owners and stuff like that. And one of the things that we always raise as a friction point is like, they're like, one of our core values is family or culture or community. It's like, yeah, that's true of every gym. If they're doing a good job, that should exist. In like especially micro gyms like what our space is. You should feel like you're instantly a part of it. You should not feel like you're the odd duck out or alienated or that it's very cliquey when you walk into the building. Like that's not what we're here for in the fitness industry.
Right. So speaking of being included in the group and kind of getting to know the gym, what do you guys do at your gym to bring in a new member? Like someone is looking to sign up with you. What does that look like?
Yeah. So all roads lead to me. So whether you shoot us a call, text, an email, like it all comes to me first. And my biggest thing that I look for is like, what's most important to you, right? Because, and then obviously like exercise history, because I want to start gaining a little bit of an idea of like what your training experience is going to look like. And I know I always use the expression of like, I don't want you so sore you can't sit down on the toilet, but like, some folks, they come in and they're used to exercising, they're used to having done it, and they're a great fit to be like, hey, you know what? Large group training is a good fit. It's got the variety of movements we need, a little bit of, more accessibility to classes. But what we do is like, we just have a little bit of that conversation at first so I can ballpark an estimate of like what a membership might cost, because we don't just put you into a thing and be like, yep, there you go. And now you're overpaying for a membership. Right. I want you to pay for what the training is that you need. And then we sit down, we do an assessment just to make sure that we're right first, because the last thing I want to see is like, oh, holy cow, like our hamstrings aren't working correctly, and now I've got you in a session where we can't address that. So we do that. We put together a game plan and a schedule during that half hour, like sit down and do a little bit of the tour of the place so you feel more comfortable with it. And we schedule a first session. And then generally at that first session, what's going to happen is you'll come in a couple of minutes early. We'll help you get signed in, and then we'll take you over to where you're going to be warming up. And at the start of the hour, the coach is going to be like, all right, guys, here we go. And we're going to lead you step by step through the warm up, through the actual workout itself, and the cool down at the end of it too. So it's very like kind of handheld through the whole process.
Is every session that you do almost like this is what you do and how you do it, so people, even if they've done it before but they've maybe have forgotten, they know? Is that what it's like?
We'll still take it. Yep. Yeah, so like small group personal training is going to be like 6 to 8 people in it. I would definitely say that's like the program that's gained the most interest in the last like 4 to 5 years. And the reason we started that back in like 2018 was because we saw people that had been with us for 10 years that needed more specificity in their training. But we also saw brand new people that just needed instruction in a smaller group setting, right? Okay. Large group is our flagship program. We've run that since 2008. And that might be where it's a little bit looser in the hand holding. Like we'll take that group session. We're going to lead everybody through the warm up as we demonstrate it. Then we'll go over, and we're still old school. We use a whiteboard because I'm not great at technology. And I know that if my whiteboard pen fails, I just grab a new one and I write it on the board again. Anyhow, so we take that and we go, here's what the workout is today, guys. And we demonstrate the exercises again. All right, go ahead and get set up. And when there's new folks in the room or folks that are just kind of like, you know what, my shoulder's been bugging me, coach, like that's our opportunity where we get to come over and you just see it in people's body language. They're nervous about something. They sit there and look at the weights a little longer than they normally do. Mm-hmm. And so we get to come over and be like, hey, what's up? I don't know if I should use this or this. Well, how are you feeling today? And we can like actually coach in that moment in time too. So yeah, it's always coach led. We do give members the opportunity to use open gym after their first month, but that's like the weekends and stuff when we don't have sessions going on. It's like, hey, you want to come in, ride the bike and burn some steam off? Hell yeah, go ahead, do that. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if people want to go to your gym and check it out and learn about it, maybe they're interested in membership, how do they contact you?
Yeah, you can definitely find us on the social media stuff. I'm sure you probably see some of our ads run on social media as well there too. But you can drop us a DM, you can shoot us a call or a text, 920-706-3615, an email, steven@tntfr.com. Like I said, everything kind of leads to me, and we're just going to use that as a process to kind of discover what we need to work on first before I have you come in, and then we really dive into training more thoroughly at that point.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for being on and telling us about your gym.
Yeah, thanks for having us.